Aaron Rodgers might not have Devontae Adams tomorrow for Thursday Night Football, but could Rodgers actually be better without his top target? We'll tell you why we're asking. Mike Tomlin shot down the college coaching rumors yesterday, so how should Steeler fans feel about his press conference? And where will Patrick Mahomes and the 3-4 Chiefs land on Nick's new NFL tiers? Also, Nick has new NFL tiers. Good. Spooky Wednesday morning. We're getting into it here. Days away from Halloween. First things first. Jenna Wolf, Nick Wright, Chris Broussard. Spooky music, too. We're getting all in on the theme. Kevin Wildes. Tier integrity. 2 words, Nick. Tier integrity. After what we saw last week, I can only imagine and assume you will be fair with tiers today.
Well, listen, believe it or not, the committee is still meeting. They have quorum without me. Tier's going to be a little later today, 8:15, because we need a little more time. We need a little more time. A lot of controversy at the top, the middle, and the bottom. But we'll get them in. 8:15, America, the tiers will be revealed.
What's up, Wildes?
Can't wait.
Thought Wildes had something for us. All right, we'll get to that in a second. We got to start, though, some Lakers and Spurs last night. First road game of the season for L.A. No LeBron in this one, out with right ankle soreness, so the workload went to Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook, and the two balled. Wasn't easy. Lakers found themselves down 12 to start the fourth quarter, but they caught up. They sent this one to overtime. And how about Russ? 15 of his 33 came in the fourth and overtime. Davis finished with 35 points and 17 boards. Lakers picking up the much-needed win. Although, scary moment late in the fourth quarter. Anthony Davis going down, holding his knee. He was able to return. Talked about it at the podium after the injury. Take a listen.
We want to box out, and then he was doing the job flying in, but I was still kind of planted on the ground, and he ran into my knee, like a little stinger, just a little stinger, and then started moving. Just kind of went away as I kept playing. Still felt it a little bit, but try to finish the game. Well, finish the game, and we'll see how it is when I wake up tomorrow. But I told Russ, I said whether I'll play, Bron play, who we don't play, it doesn't matter. You still got to be yourself, and he did that tonight. The way he played tonight was incredible, and we need that from him every night. No matter if Bron is playing or not, or if I'm playing or not. Be yourself, and we'll find ways to kind of adjust around him.
So, Chris Broussard, what'd you learn about the Lakers and their overtime win without LeBron last night?
I do have a lot to say about this, Jenna. Number one, this is not why you brought in Russell Westbrook. You brought him in to win a championship. But one of the fringe benefits is that without LeBron James, whether that is for an entire game or week or stretch or whatever it may be, or whether it's just for some time during a game when LeBron's resting on the bench while he's playing in a game, you will be better without LeBron. And that's a huge benefit. The Lakers have been 23-35 in the previous 3 seasons without LeBron when he's injured. Now they can still be a good team without LeBron, and you saw that last night. That's a huge benefit. They wouldn't have been the 7th seed in the play-in tournament last year had they had a guy like Westbrook to carry them while LeBron was out. So that can get LeBron more rest if he'll take it. Like tonight, he's questionable. Maybe if they don't have a Russ and they need a win, LeBron plays. So that's a benefit. You also learned, and this might sound funny, but you also learned that Russell Westbrook is still terrific. Like, you're going to see, as he's playing with LeBron, his numbers aren't going to be what we're used to. He's going to still be adjusting and looking bad at times. We have to remember, this dude is still a terrific player. Obviously, Anthony Davis showed us that he's back. All right, he's not the AD of last year. He's the AD of 2 years ago. He was phenomenal last night. So all of that's well and good. But ultimately, Nick, when it comes down to the main thing, which is title or bust for the Lakers, I don't think we learned a thing. Because the fact of the matter is that Russ is not going to be playing without LeBron. And Anthony Davis said we need Russ to be Russ and do this when LeBron's out there. Well, he can't do that when LeBron's out there. That's not best for the Lakers. And LeBron or AD is going to not be able to shine if Russ is doing all of that. And so to win the championship, those three, just like we've said at the beginning of the year, still have to figure out how they can all excel together. So this was nice, but ultimately we didn't really learn anything about how they're going to play better together.
We didn't learn how they're going to play better together, but I would argue, and stay with me here, Broussard, for a moment, it was still important, and here's why. I'm one of the last people remaining that thinks regular season basketball has some real import on who wins the championship, if for no other reason than seeding and home court advantage can matter. I think you saw it last year with the Lakers. If they're not the 7th seed and drawing a Suns team early, and LeBron in the first round doesn't have to be fully healthy because they have an easier first round opponent, then maybe the entire season goes differently. And your point about the Lakers were terrible the last 3 years without LeBron. The Cavs were 4-23 in LeBron's second stint in Cleveland without him. By the way, he played all 82 the year they traded Kyrie. So that means the Cavs, it was the 3 years with Kyrie and Kevin Love when LeBron sat 4-23. So being able to win games that LeBron sits, I would sit him tonight. You're playing Oklahoma City, give him the night off, and see if these guys can run it back again. So I do think that was important. I also think that Vogel is learning what this team needs on the fly, and sometimes a box score jumps out at you. Broussard, Malik Monk was plus 31 in 39 minutes, which means the Lakers were minus 27 in the 14 minutes he didn't play. I think the numbers are going to start jumping off the page that you must have a shooter on the court, not only for the shooting he adds, and I want your reaction to these two pictures we're going to show, but what it allows for the other guys. Show Anthony Davis's shot chart, then show Russell Westbrook's shot chart. AD did some mid-range stuff, but he lived at the rim, that's where he did his damage. And then show Russ. It was all at the rim. All of it. I mean, he had the 1-3 that we showed in the highlight. Everything else is at the rim. So, Broussard, I do think you're right that they need to play together a lot to figure out what works for the postseason. But to be in the best position in the postseason, Broussard, they got to win games like this one, and in years past, they wouldn't have.
Well, and I think, Nick, you and I, before the season, we're saying you got to open up the floor, and that's why you need AD at the 5, right? What you saw, AD at the rim, Russ at the rim, that's because they did have the shooting out there with Monk. And we're baffled that they kind of have gone the opposite way with trying to play big with DeAndre Jordan in there so much, or Dwight Howard. So that shouldn't have had to be learned, but maybe they did learn that last night. And I think, Nick, LeBron shooting so well at the start from three-point land has kind of kept Vogel from seeing that because, we got LeBron out there hitting threes. So he's our shooter. But you're right, Malik Monk, I mean, if he can continue, and he shot it well last year, he hadn't been a great three-point shooter early in his career, but last year he was very good. If he can continue that, that could be huge wilds for these Lakers.
Yeah, he hit the big three. That really felt like the dagger to the Spurs when they thought they were pulling away, and Malik Monk hit that three. Nick, I want to talk about the intensity of the game. We saw my man Jakob have some big dunks, and sort of San Antonio's like, we're going to win this game. Then you saw Russ's dunk on the other end in overtime. To me, that took the air out of the building. Once Russ dunked, that was the moment that I said, the Spurs kind of knew. They hung their heads, and they knew they weren't coming back. What do you think about the intensity of Russ and how that affects the Lakers? Because as much as I like AD, and we always talk about him kind of being on the fringe MVP candidate, when he's laying in the ground, writhing in pain, and then pops back up, I don't know if the Lakers look around and be like, all right, let's keep feeding AD. AD's our guy. Feels like Russ takes that mantle emotionally, too, when LeBron's not in the game.
Well, listen, I think that is one of the reasons Russ doesn't get enough credit is he is a guy who you cannot, for good or for bad, if you just watch him, you don't know, is this a game 6 of a conference semifinals? Or is this the 6th game in 13 nights in February? You don't, and teams